Another diamond guitar tip from Guitars Are Hard. You used the right pick thickness. For ages, I used this really quite thin one, but I found I had trouble in that I was losing it and dropping it. So I bought these ones, which, if you can see that, have a grip on them. Bought 3 different sizes, so this is 0.73, and I bought right up to double that to see if that would cure it. I even bought, a bit of a Marty McFly lead guitarist from the 80s moment, a metal pick for when you really have to dig in playing those solos. What I've lately found is that is my preferred size, which is a 0.81. I found this out just by buying packs of multi-size picks, which compared to your guitar and your amp cost nothing. So try it. You could be using the wrong size pick. Simple as that. Hello and welcome to another diamond guitar tip from Guitars Are Hard. Change your strings, get a fresh set, change them at least every 6 months, if not sooner. If you're a beginner, that sounds daunting, but your strings aren't part of your guitar really. They're a consumable, like ink in a printer. The second they look like they've lost some of their shine, get rid of them. You can protect them a bit by putting fast fret or something like that on, but depending how much you play, 3 to 6 months and they're gone. You also need to learn how to change your strings, get better at it. It's a skill you really need to know, and probably the first piece of maintenance you'll ever pick up. Welcome to another diamond guitar tip from Guitars Are Hard. This is going to be a hard one to tell you. No amount of gear makes you a better player. Only learning and practice does. No guitar or effects pedal or amp is going to suddenly make you brilliant. But if I was to put my money anywhere, it would be into an amp. Because a great amp can make an okay guitar sound a bit better, but a great guitar can't always make a bad amp sound any better. Says the guy who owns this beauty and a Les Paul, and yet is still a beginner. Go figure. Hi, and welcome to another diamond guitar tip from Guitars Are Hard. This is a tip for any player really. Change your strings. Whatever thickness they are, change them. Change them now. Put 8s to 38s in there. If you're a beginner, they'll be easier to play and to bend and to pull off, etc. If you're a seasoned player, they'll give you that tight sound that sounds really professional that you're missing. Trust me, everyone back in the 80s was playing 8s. Somehow that became 10s, 11s. Don't know why. Put 8s in now. Do it now. Hello and welcome to Diamond Guitar Tips with me, Darren White. Today's tip is always tune your guitar up and never down. By that I mean always tune higher in pitch, higher in tension, never the other way. So that is always turn the tuning pegs anti-clockwise to make the strings tighter to get to the note you want. Never go down. If you go over the pitch, if you've got it too tight, go a long way under and then come back up. This is because you need to get the strings at the right tension so that when you're fretting or bending, you're not knocking them out of tune. If they are tuned down, then it's quite easy when you're doing that to knock it out of tune and then further out of tune. See you in the next tip. Welcome to another diamond guitar tip from Guitars Are Hard. This is going to be a hard one to tell you. Ultra cheap guitars can be hard to play, so they're a false economy. And like everything in life, there's some great affordable guitars out there, but there's some awful cheap ones as well. Simple as that. Hello and welcome to Diamond Tips with me, Darren White. One thing you have to learn to do when forming or playing a chord is to learn to move your fingers all at once. There's no point in doing it one by one and putting your fingers there one string at a time. It just won't sound good. Even if you're lifting and forming the chord and then going all down together, then it will still sound better than doing it bit by bit. So all the fingers together. Hello and welcome to Diamond Guitar Tips with me, Darren White. Today's tip comes from a lesser known female singer-songwriter who goes by the name of Taylor Swift. I've noticed that when she strums, she doesn't move her ring and her pinky finger. She just leaves them there in a lazy sort of way, which means that she plays something like C, G, a sort of weird D that misses a note, and she must be lifting for this one, an E, but she does it all without moving her pinky and her ring finger, which if you just strum the whole thing can't really be the chord. There's probably some weird diminished things in there. I don't know, does this help? Is this a good tip? If it's not, take it up with Taylor Swift, not me. Bye now. That was angry playing at the end. There's no more. Go away. Hello and welcome to another Diamond Guitar Tip from Guitars Are Hard. It is a chord. It's a interesting, rich chord, and it is E major 7th. E major 7th is made up of E, G, B and D, where G is the minor, the flat third, and D is the 7th interval, which gives it its rich sound. And I'm going to show you 4 different ways of playing this. The first one is one string, so it's literally 2nd fret, 2nd string down. The next variant on it is the 2nd string from the bottom, which is the open B. If I fret it there at the 3rd fret, there's a 3-finger version where you fret the 3rd string down, the 2nd fret, combine that with all 1 so far. And there's a 4th version where you put your pinky on the bottom string. I think my favourite is the 2-string version. Can't say fairer than 1 string for a rich and interesting chord.